If you've been bearish on Shiba Inu and the crypto market, very simply put, you've been played. This whole thing has been kind of a big plan to lull retail into complacency, to make people think that nothing was going to happen, but yet the strategic positioning has been happening behind the scenes while the market has kind of been in a lull. And this is going to be very eye-opening for a lot of people. I need to show you things that have been happening beyond this 1.9 trillion Shiba Inu that we talked about earlier today. It's much bigger than people realize. So again, if you guys haven't already, show your love for the channel down below. It's been growing like crazy, and it's all because of you guys. But what I will say here is, again, Shiba started off on a nice green day like everything else. It's just after 7 a.m. U.S. money is waking up, and hopefully they follow the trend of overseas money. Would love to see this turn into a nice big green day for the crypto market, build us some momentum into midweek like we talked about earlier today. And you guys might agree that, for the last several months, basically since the early part of March, not a whole lot has happened. Yes, we've had some retracements. Yes, we've had some nice pumps. A lot of what we've dealt with is just retail exhaustion. All right. There have been some times it seems like things are breaking out. We've gotten hit with some negative news. Unfortunately, it kind of is what it is. Retail tends to get drugged through the mud in times like these, but it's all been a big plan. I hope people realize that. There's been some pretty significant manipulation, going on in the crypto market. And it's all been to kind of subdue retail, to make them capitulate, to make them think like nothing is going to happen. And then the markets will take off once the large entities feel like they have done enough. Now, SHIB is not any different from other assets during this time for that, right? We've obviously talked about the total 3 and what's going on there. And, SHIB is kind of following along with everything else. And obviously SHIB is a younger asset than some of the, well, I won't necessarily say younger because it's been around for, 4 years? Almost 5 years now. No. Yeah, almost 5 years. And we're getting to this point where SHIB is on the verge of making a pretty big leap in terms of overall holders, which would really make it a nice mature asset. But SHIB has gone through a lot of these same, we'll say, fits as other assets in the space. But it's all been strategic, because what we have actually seen during these times is, while retail has been capitulating, large holders have in fact been surging into Shiba Inu. If you don't believe me, just take a look at the numbers. We actually, from just May 31st alone, so just these last 10 days, we have seen the number of holders from holding between 100 billion SHIB to 1 trillion SHIB surge from 605 addresses to 651 addresses. So 46 holder surge. Geez, I can't speak. 46 holder surge of those holding between 100 billion to 1 trillion SHIB. So they have been very quietly and strategically moving into Shiba Inu during these times of retail questions. What we've also seen during this time is us hit a new all-time high in terms of holders of Shiba Inu. What we've also seen this time is us, again, surge to record lows in terms of exchange supply. Just in the last 2 days alone, guys, we've seen 1.6 trillion SHIB removed from exchanges. And this is all being done strategically while retail isn't paying attention. For example, Quentin Francis said Bitcoin is at 107, but retail interest is stuck where it was at $16,000. And this is a very good summation of what's going on. Shiba Inu, guys. Shiba Inu right now, search optics, garbage. And that's because retail interest has been very quiet. All right. Even on our surge back in March, we didn't get anywhere close to, these highs from basically April, May of 2021, or not nearly the all-time high, despite being at, higher amounts of holders and more strength from the holders themselves, right? Longer average hold time, great amount of whales helping hold SHIB price up. And it's because retail optics have been very quiet in this market cycle in general. It goes back to what we've talked about, right? That there has not been much adoption taking place. There has not been this big surge of retail interest in crypto yet. And it's all because right now the people at the top, they've been doing enough to hold retail back. They've caused enough of these pumps and retracements to just kind of make retail chill. It's why we've had just USDT dominance just kind of chilling, not really breaking down in a big way yet. I mean, not anywhere close to some of the lows that we saw all the way back here in, 2022, 2021, height of the bull market cycle. There is so much capital parked on the sidelines right now because people just haven't had enough confidence. But who has had the confidence? The whales, the institutional players, the governments, the enterprises. They've been buying and hoarding like crazy because they know what's coming. there's going to be a time where there's a big push to get retail into crypto. It's going to be done by these big players in the space. Don't be surprised when it does happen. There always comes a time where there's this huge surge in retail interest and adoption takes place. And then we get those very exciting times like we've been talking about. I think it's actually impressive that SHIB did what it did here, despite having very low retail interest around the crypto market. All right. So what we're doing right now is, again, kind of a continuation of this shakeout of retail, this cause of this retail capitulation, this crap that we've dealt with, for a very long period of time. But like I've talked about, there always comes a moment where the market wakes up, and that is when SHIB tends to do its best. And what we've seen now is the large entities have positioned themselves well enough to really cause SHIB to do some exciting things in terms of price. That's what really gets me excited about where we're headed to next. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully that made sense. Let me know if I need to break this down again in another video in a different way, but let me know your thoughts. But have a great day. Share your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.